Ciao Milanisti, it's your boy Kush in the Milan Corner. Finally guys, it has happened. Olivier Giroud has arrived in Milan. A triple signing weekend potentially for the Rossoneri. A lot of new names being linked to Milan, specifically former Inter attacker Philippe Coutinho. Could it happen Milanisti? Çalhanoğlu to Inter? Coutinho to Milan? We're gonna break it all down in today's rumor reel, but before I dive in Milanisti, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the bell notification so you can watch the Milan Corner videos as soon as I upload them. Alright, so the Olivier Giroud saga is finally over. Fabrizio Romano broke a few days ago that Milan are gonna be signing him on a 1 million deal and plus another 1 million in bonuses if the Rossoneri make the Champions League. But is this it, Milanisti? Is Olivier Giroud the answer to our problems in attack? The Frenchman has boldly gone on to pick the number 9, the cursed number 9, worn now by 9 or 10 different players without any success since the retirement of Pippo Inzaghi. I respect that move. It's no fear, and I like that Olivier is backing himself. Well, Milanisti, this move can now be stamped as complete. Now, there are two sets of reports that I'm reading. One suggests that Padre Pioli is going to try and work with both Ibrahimovic and Giroud in attack at the same time. Whereas another report suggests that this new profile, Caio Jorge, is the player that Milan are looking at. Never really seen him play live, so let me know in the comments if you guys have watched Caio Jorge play. How good is he? Can he potentially be the answer to our attacking problems along with Olivier Giroud and Zlatan Ibrahimovic? He definitely seems to be a profile that a lot of teams are interested in. Juventus websites have been mentioning that they're interested in him too. It's not like he's lit up the Brazilian scene with goals after goals, but the player does seem to have some good quality. Paolo Maldini and his entourage have shown that they have very good eye for talent. So what do you guys think? Is Caio Jorge the player that we should be looking at? The reports suggest that Milan are looking at about a 10 million offer. The player's contract expires in December, so Milan can potentially get him for free like we did Thiago Silva about a decade ago. Is that the solution that Milan should be looking at? Or should we be looking to sign him up immediately and get that player for preseason? Of all the strikers we've been linked with, Belotti, Kalajdzic, all the guys, I think Caio Jorge actually seems the most reasonable profile. I kind of think this report is real. Speaking of preseason, reports are suggesting that Rafael Leao is going to get about 5 games to show his value to the club. If he doesn't perform well in the preseason, there's a potential that Milan will let go of him. Milanisti, I just don't think this is a fair approach. If the Rossoneri are playing him as a left winger or as a second striker, I get it. I want to see what Rafael Leao can do. But if we're gonna again plant this guy right up front and expect him to score goals, I just think it's unfair to his talent. And I'm a big critic of Rafael Leao, but we gotta put him in the right position to be able to show what he's worth. What do you guys think? Is that fair? We give him 5 games, potentially as a center forward to show his value, and if he doesn't, we put him in a deal to acquire another player? Milanisti, as much as I disagree with these reports, I think they're real. I think the management is getting a little bit tired of Rafael Leao's up and down form, and they want some consistency from him, which kind of leads us into the economic efforts that are being put in by Elliott management. Milanisti, a lot of you guys have been complaining in the comment section about we're broke, we don't have any money. But look at this. Milan are actually the club that has spent the most in this mercato without a single player being sold for that matter. Yes, the Rossoneri lost on Çalhanoğlu and Donnarumma for free, but let's put that in a box and put it away because that's a loaded conversation. If they had signed them to new contracts, they would never sell them. So let's just move on from complaining and whining about that one thing. Milan have brought in €0 and they've spent 60 million. That has to be respected. No other Serie A side has done that. Now, are we chasing big, famous, popular players? No. Milan is clearly going on an affordable spree in the market, but they're still making moves. They're still reinforcing their squad. They're looking at individual positions. They're finding backups for those positions, which brings us to Brahim Diaz. Fabrizio Romano broke the news that Milan have indeed found an agreement with Real Madrid, and I'm loving this. A 2-year loan for 3 million with a buy option. Milanisti, I think this is a good move. A lot of you guys have been complaining that Milan did not sign him on a permanent basis, but I think it's a good thing. Guys, let's be real about something. Brahim Diaz, until the last 5 games of the season, probably was not going to come back to Milan. Let's not have selective amnesia here. He was not playing very well. It was in the last 4 or 5 games of the season when Milan played Juve, went to Juventus and beat them 3-0. Brahim Diaz scored the first goal and was an influential player on the team. I tweeted out that he's actually scored the most important goal leading up till now in his career, which now the fact that Milan made the Champions League is the case. But if he hadn't put in those performances in the last few games, Milan would never be bringing him back on. So for Milan to get a loan for 2 seasons, allow the guy to show on a consistent basis what he can do, and then buy him out when we've made a couple of Champions League in the process, have more money, it's a smart move. It's yet another smart move by Paolo Maldini and his management. They got a great deal done for Mike Maignan. They spent a reasonable amount of money for Fikayo Tomori, which still Chelsea fans are saying is too little. Sandro Tonali, they saved about 15 million by renegotiating his contract. And now another move for Brahim Diaz. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the 2-year loan with a small amount of money? And how do you feel about Brahim Diaz potentially wearing number 10? Do you think he's earned the legendary number 10 yet? All this money saved, and then there's Theo Hernandez. So many reports coming out of France from Paris about the fact that PSG has made multiple approaches to Milan for Theo Hernandez. A few months ago, I saw a report that PSG had offered north of 50 million for him, but Milan have countered and said they're not going to be looking at any offers that are not more than 70 million. First of all, let me just straight up ask you guys this. If Milan get an offer north of 70 million for Theo Hernandez, should we sell? What it looks like the Rossoneri are doing? They don't want to sell him. Milan does not want to be a selling club. Popular Milan journalists have said there's no truth to Theo Hernandez's departure. There's no chance that Milan are going to sell him. I can't see that happening either. Milan is trying to build a team for the future. Look at the signings that they're making. Look at the age of these players. They're trying to create a squad who, with the right leadership, is going to try and start crushing it in 3, maybe 4 years. But the one thing that is guaranteed, Milan is going to have to start upping their salary budget, because Theo Hernandez makes 1.5 mil right now. His entourage is already asking for more money. When you have PSG calling, your salary demands go high, and suddenly you feel like you can't afford these players anymore. So that is one reality that Milan is going to have to get ready for. If their players continue to perform the way that they've been playing, if Theo Hernandez continues to crush it, Franck Kessie, these guys are going to start asking for 6-7 mil for sure. And if Hakan Çalhanoğlu has the audacity to ask for 7 mil, Theo Hernandez and Kessie are worth a lot more than Çalhanoğlu. At this point, Milan has an imaginary salary cap of 4 mil. We're going to have to probably start upping that in 1 or 2 seasons. But Milanisti, the reports of Theo Hernandez leaving Milan for PSG, those are rumors. Which brings us to Milan's latest signing and Theo Hernandez's deputy, Fode Ballo-Toure. I hope I'm pronouncing the guy's name right. First of all, welcome to Milan. Just a few minutes after Fabrizio Romano broke report of Brahim Diaz deal being complete, he also broke this news. I wasn't really expecting this to happen. I thought this is another name that is being linked with Milan, just like Junior Firpo and all the other guys on the left flank, but this is done. I've never really seen the guy play live, but the highlight reels I've watched, he does seem to have some decent skill. Now, I have been reading that the guy is not very disciplined. He fouls, he fights, he gets aggressive on the field, which is a good thing in a way. You gotta channel that in the right direction, but being a player who's constantly picking up yellows, that's not something that we want from a backup. Naturally, Milan has completed this move pretty quick so that Pioli can put this guy in the upcoming preseason friendlies and see what his quality is. If you guys have seen him play at Monaco, let us know. Is he a good player? Which brings us to the final 2 profiles we're going to be looking at. Luis Alberto and Philippe Coutinho. Milanisti, no surprise, the Rossoneri are looking for number 10. Brahim Diaz has made claim to that number, but we need a legitimate, experienced, out-and-out attacking midfielder. And it looks like these 2 names are the latest link to Milan. Now, Luis Alberto's situation is this. He's told Lazio he doesn't want to play for them anymore. There are multiple reports that are suggesting that he wants to leave. Now, Lazio's expectation from him is that they're going to score about 45 to 50 mil. Milan can't pay that. But reports are suggesting that Milan might look at a swap or a cash plus players deal, and those players might be Caldara, Samu Castillejo, and Rafael Leao. At the same time, there's Philippe Coutinho, and ESPN sources are suggesting that Milan recognize Barcelona are in a financial turmoil. They need to offload players to just be able to sign Lionel Messi back. But the guy's salary expectation is 10 mil. So this can only be a reality if Barcelona are open to giving a huge discount on the transfer and Coutinho is willing to take a massive pay cut for Milan. Guys, at this point in time, both of these reports sound like they're just rumors. But the reality is this. Milan need a number 10. For me, Brahim Diaz is not gonna cut it. The guy is too young, too inexperienced to play against massive teams in the Champions League. If you look at the teams that are in pot 1 or even pot 2 of Champions League, Milan are going to be playing some titans next season. And Brahim Diaz as our number 10 behind an old Ibrahimovic and an old Giroud, that's just not the attack that we can go with. But let's not forget, as I already mentioned in this video, the Rossoneri have spent 60 million euros. No other Serie A side has done that. Top of it all, every single move has been seen as a financially responsible move where the Rossoneri have gotten massive discounts or gotten players under their value. And that is something we have to look at, acknowledge, and appreciate. As I've always said, finances matter. The company, the organization, the team's economics matter. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Milanisti, how do we feel about Giroud, Brahim Diaz, Toure joining Milan? Make sure to smash that like button if you're happy about this triple signing that Milan is about to pull off. As always, Forza Milan, grazie mille, e ciao tutti!